very quickly, Vikram, and then we're going to Jason.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah.
Kristine, really, really happy to kind of be here, be in this wonderful group of leadership. I want to take you back to when you were 14. So I'm a dad of twins. I got a boy and a girl, and they both play competitive. So one plays competitive basketball, and my daughter just finished up playing volleyball. She's in the on the high school volleyball team. And one of the disappointing things that just came out recently was, I mean, she's a great player. She works well. She works hard. She serves well. And in the last game of the tournament, she was allowed to sit in for both sets. It was pretty disappointing to actually see her sit on the sidelines, but still kind of be like, I'm here for the team and I'm going to support the team. So as my wife and I were watching her, we were super, super disappointed. But then I was like taking the big picture, the biggest sort of perspective on life, which is she got selected to be a part of the high school volleyball team. She's played well. She's upped her game, all of that. Take you back to like the advice to a guy like me, like who's a parent, shuffling things around, working with her, working with him. How do you sort of deal with that scenario where did you ever have to go through that, like when you were 14, sort of like an imposter syndrome where you say like, I'm not just good enough, or I've sat out, or my coach didn't really allow me to play my best game ever. So how do you sort of deal with that with a child who's at 14 and she knows she's pretty damn good at her game and she's going to get there, but then she's allowed to sit for the entire game? So that kind of never made sense to me. And this whole concept that Scott talked about, which is diversity and inclusion, to actually be good at something or be at a powerhouse, you have to have people with like good diverse behaviors and traits to actually work as a team, right? So sort of a little bit of a loaded question there. How did you deal with that as you were growing up, as a young 14-year-old?
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I was 10, I got cut from the all-star baseball team. And I remember this to the day. I mean, baseball was my first love. I was going to play second base for the New York Yankees. I was going to do all these wonderful things. And I remember I didn't make the team. And I was kind of I was just like, what? And I was the only girl on the team. So obviously my parents were like, well, we could fight this. I was like, no, you know what? I didn't make it. So the next year I tried out and I made it. So I'm not sure what my mindset was at that moment, but I tell you that I didn't stop working. I tried, I kept going after it for next year and I made it. And I think what's happening a lot in our culture today with kids is there's always other options. So especially if you look at club sports. So if a kid doesn't make a team there, they're like, oh, we can go play there and make this team. We're giving kids excuses that, okay, well, if you don't hear, we have another place for you to play. So I think what I'm not saying I'm very good at this as a parent, but what I'm trying to work on is letting your kids go through those things. They're going to figure it out. They have to, instead of us solving the problem for them, because I went through a lot of things when I was younger. You went through, trying to fit in. I was traveling on the national team, which I was very homesick. So I was constantly missing home and always, kind of sad in a sense, but I kept pushing through, and none of us want to see our kids sad or anything. You want to just take that away from them, but they got to go through it. And that's probably one of the hardest things as a parent, for you to see your kids go through some things that aren't easy, but I think that's where they grow. And I mean, it seems like your daughter, not playing that game, she was like, okay, well, my other responsibility is to be a good teammate, no matter how hard it was for you to see, and know the talent that she may have. So I think as parents, we got to let our kids go through stuff. And, it's the hardest thing, I think, for us to do, but that's the one thing, that's what I had to go through. I know we all probably did it in this room. I know we all can reach back to something in your childhood that wasn't easy, wasn't fun, sad maybe. But we all got through it. And I think we're better off because of it.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
love it,
mindset.
Kristine.
It's
Thank you.
adversity. Adversity is a gift, and because it builds resiliency, which we're all going to need at different points in our life.